you let's start with
Yes, sir.
wishing her.
So, welcome, sir, today. Today is 10th April. We all celebrate this day. We celebrate all the mentors. We celebrate Dr. Hahnemann. We celebrate Dr. Shankran. We celebrate Dr. Gandhi. We celebrate Kent, Dr. Boning Hussain, Dr. Farrington. So, it's a day of celebrations. So, on this day, I'll just like to talk about IPEMA, which is Sir's vision. So, happy World Homeopathic Day. And today we'll be talking about exploring the oceans. So, sir will be speaking about mollusks. And mollusk is a very important aspect of homeopathy, and this is an important as a group of remedies. We are able to solve so many cases, psychiatric cases, because of less resources within them. They fall into the trap of psychiatric disorders. So, sir will be talking about it today. And also at IPEMA, we have this IPEMA is an association for international PEM practitioners, Personal Evolution Model Association. So we have these book reading sessions every 15 day. So this is a book of chakras. It's a homeopathic perspective in and personal evolution model. So this is one more tool, one more dimension of homeopathy, and this is also helping us a lot in understanding our patients and also coming to the simillimum. So I would request you all to join this every 15 days. These are free sessions. This is Sir's vision to teach us PEM. And this is the book in which Sir has given so many nuggets of wisdom. Every time we read it, we around 50 of us read this book, and every time, every line, it is a transmission in itself. If we understand one line of it, also some part of us also gets healed. So it's an important tool of healing. So I would request you all to join us every alternate Thursdays for this book reading. This book is also available with Sir. You can contact at this email ID for the book. Then we also have these Manthan 2025 where Sir takes 6 sessions. These sessions are done alternate months. And again, we have these nuggets of wisdom with each Sir presents each case and the concepts used behind solving the case. So all the PEM concepts are also taught by Sir. And now after this today's session, which is by Sir, we'll be starting this series of mollusks. It will be a lecture of 12 series, and it is a 12 series lectures. So we'll be showing Sir's pre-recorded sessions and also many live sessions by Team IPEMA. This will start on 16th of May. So I request you all to be with us. We have a WhatsApp group and also we have a PEM channel, a YouTube channel, YouTube Personal Association Model channel. So you can visit that channel because we post many cases solved by our team, and you can understand what PEM is. If you are just still exploring it, you can see all the cases presented there. So over to you, sir. So you
Thank
can
you.
share about your vision of IPEMA.
Thank you very much. And I really wish every one of us here a very happy Homeopathy Day. And we give our tributes to our master, Hahnemann. We are very lucky that because of him today we are able to practice this method of healing, which is so rewarding not only to our patients but also to us. So today I'm just going to introduce you to this whole world of mollusks. And this is just because it is the nice day to start something. So this was suggested by Meeta that we do this. And then the thought came, why not continue later on with some 12 sessions where each session will be dedicated to one of the mollusks. So there'll be a case. Along with that, a total understanding of that particular mollusk. So 12 mollusks we'll be covering. And maybe 1 or 2 lectures I think I will also be taking in that. It may be pre-recorded, but rest will be live cases with all our eminent teachers. And Pooja is asking what is the difference between IPEMA and ITC. Ipema and ITC both are working with the PEM model. ITC is what I teach. In ITC is in the clinic. So it is more clinical training. It is more like we take a case and we all hear that case, and after which there is a discussion over it, which after everybody discusses and gives the idea what they think about the case, and then I tell you what it is. So it is sharpening the skills. ITC is more about me teaching, and all of you, very senior homeopaths, all of them are part of it. IPEMA is also, it is an association. So here, all those teachers, all very good qualified homeopaths and very experienced homeopaths who are in this system for a long time, they teach. So we conduct basic courses. And those basic courses are where many people ask, how do we know and how do we get into this system of IPEMA, what it is all about? So we conduct basic courses, and then some don't want to stop it at that level. They want to go ahead. So we do also advanced courses. Then we have this once in 2 months sub lecture by me. And then we take up some topics like the smallest topic we have taken up this time. So here we take up topics which are already done before, but people who are coming new don't know anything about molluscs. So we do that. Whereas in ITC, we take up topics which are not yet done. Like when we did reptiles, we wanted to know all different reptiles. Then now we are on the process of studying birds. Then maybe we will work on fish. So there we take up new topics. And IPEMA, we want that, there are many topics which are already covered, but they are very important topics, and which we can again revisit. Like the monocotyledons we have, the cats and dogs, then so many topics. They have done so many things over which we have these ancient plants. So we can do those revisit through our cases. So we look at it afresh. So let us begin. Now, I believe there'll be many people here who are also new to this method. So let me try and make it simple and see how we can understand. So let me share now. So anybody here who is interested in this method can join IPEMA. You can contact Meeta and become part of that WhatsApp group where we share all our programs and what we do, and like this chakra sessions where we are doing it free of charge, reading the book together.
I've posted the link of YouTube channel in the chat box.
Good. So let's see molluscs. So I remember we did it many years back, but the book has not come. Many of these topics we have done, but there are no books. So people don't know where to read. So this is the only way where we do it and put it on the YouTube where people can join in and study it. Because writing book is not easy all the time. So this is our animal chart. Just like we have the periodic table, then we also have various charts in plant kingdom, like Jan Scholten and Yakir's. And we follow the Yakir's method because it is based on the same principle of development. And then we have, there we have this, the flowering plants are divided into monocotyledons, dicotyledons, and various stages of development. So similarly here in animal chart, we have these vertebrates and the invertebrates. So the first division is all animals can be divided into invertebrates and vertebrates. And once you get to this, then we go into which realm the animal is living. Is it for example, if it's an invertebrate, then is it an aquatic? Does it have an aquatic existence? Does it have a terrestrial existence? Or is it having aerial existence? So based on that, that also are very specific themes. So invertebrate and vertebrate also, we have very specific reasons why we choose invertebrate over vertebrate. Then we have very specific reasons why we choose aquatic. So what are we doing? We are zeroing down our search field. So let's say you're thinking of an animal remedy and you think, oh, but this looks more like an invertebrate and it looks more like a terrestrial or a sea creature. So if it is a sea creature, then you may think about certain very early animals in the sea like Spongia, Badiaga, all the cnidarians like Corallium rubrum, Medusa, or some worms or Echinodermata, okay, like the sea urchin, the starfish. Or you might think about the mollusks and the crustaceans. Then, if it is terrestrial, then we think of all the insect kingdom, whole of the insect kingdom. And if it's an aerial, then we think of spiders. Now, why spiders are aerial? Because they are hung halfway. They are not completely on ground. They are hung, no, in between, in the web. They have an aerial existence. So this is how, and then we have specific reasons why we choose a insect over a sea creature or we choose a spider for whatever reason. Similarly, we also have animal kingdom where we have sea creatures, which are the, you know, here we have the fishes, the amphibians, the reptiles, or you have terrestrial, which are the mammals, or we have the aerials, which are the birds. So this becomes a very nice, easy way of doing it. And then we can have details about, once you get into it, then we go further. So the whole idea of map is that we map them because we have no way of mapping mind. Our repertories have only one mind section, and it is very difficult to know which remedy to give because there is no location. Like in physicals, when somebody says, I got pain, your first question to the patient is, where is the pain? He says, I don't know. Then you can't treat him. He says, I can't treat you just by telling me pain. Tell me where it is. I want to know the location. And mind being vaster than the body has only one section. Can you imagine? I remember Shankaran very jokingly telling me one day, I don't know how you practice, he told me. I said, why? He said, you're dealing mainly with the mind symptoms, which are very prone to interpretations. And it is so vast, it is like going into the sea without a compass. And I agreed with him. It's like you don't know how to begin, where to begin. If case of anxiety becomes where to see, what to see. So we are landing up only with some key repertory, whatever some rubrics are there, and that also we may mistake it. And they are also not covering many, many remedies. So we are at a loss. So what is a map? Map is mapping. Mapping is location. Is it a vertebrate, invertebrate, it is a sea creature? Is it a terrestrial? It's an adolescent. So what is a map? It's like, when you zoom out. So what is zoom out? Let's say you're in a helicopter and you look down on the city of Mumbai. Then you can see the whole city. Oh, I can see the Eremil colony. I can see the Gateway of India. I can see the Juhu Chowpatty. Oh, that is where the Canary Caves are. I can see Sanjay Gandhi National Park. So you can see everything. And then you can locate where you want because the whole vision is there. The whole map is in front of you. So a map helps you to locate. If you want to go to a new city or a new town or a new location, you use Google Map. Map helps you with location. So the most important primary thing is location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. Without location, mind symptoms are very difficult. So the maps primarily will not tell you what is your physical disorder. So if you are in an aquatic plant, then I'll say, okay, this is your illness you're going to get. It tells you your mind. And most of our patients tell us a lot about their mind symptoms. So these maps are important for mind. Even Jan Schulten's periodic table. So when we say he's in the womb, then we know what are the lithium line qualities. We know what are natrium line qualities. That is also development. What is development? Your level of personal evolution. So let's say I'm a 60-year-old man, but I say that developmentally I am in infancy. What does it mean? It means my inner age is that of an infant. So that means we may be chronologically whatever age I am, but internally I am a different age altogether. And that is called inner age. And that is what we are doing. So we have not, PM is nothing new. PM, what we did is many of us are already aware, and we are doing it by our periodic table understanding of development. But the problem is then we have one method for mineral kingdom development. Then we have the sensation method for plants. And then we have an animal method. In animal, we use kingdom, sub-kingdom classification, group analysis. That how are the reptiles, how are the birds, how are the mammals. So you're using three systems in one system of homeopathy. This is not how a science works. Science needs one underpinning. So that underpinning is where you're using the same method for every case. And this is what we are trying to work on. And this is called PEM model. And it is just not one more method. This is a method which not only teaches us about the patient, any case, whether it is plant, mineral, animal, fungi, or whatever it is, but it also explains many other systems. Like if I know that somebody is Ignatia, so Ignatia, according to my development chart, has two levels of development. One level of development is that they are adults. Second level of development is they are infants. So it is not that you have only one inner age, you can have two inner ages. Even three sometimes. Like even Ignatia is also a little bit of toddler. So now why is it important? Then we understand the patient, because patient is an infant also. So what are the interests of Ignatia? Mainly it is the family. Because family issues are the most important for an infant. So infancy is very important. So family issues are important. And what is the main theme for Ignatia? Ailments from death in the family, of some death of some near and dear one. That they cannot take because she's an infant. But she's also an adult. So she's very responsible, taking care of the family. They are very reserved. But when something happens to their family, suddenly they become like infants. So what happens is they collapse. They faint, they collapse. What is that collapse? You become like a 1 year, less than 1 year old baby. And when you become less than 1 year old baby, your muscle power is gone. Because when you are before 1 year, if somebody makes you stand up, your mother makes you stand up on the sofa or on the bed and leaves you, you will fall. Because you have not developed muscles. That's why Gelsemium has no will does not obey the muscles. Muscles don't obey the will. So your materia medica has become alive. Your sensation has become alive. So when you understand PEM, you understand sensations, you understand your repertory, you understand your materia medica. So this is a method which brings everything together. I'm not telling because I want to sell my product. I'm really telling you because this is very important. So this is one method which gives you a lot of clarity. 270 years back when Hahnemann started, for him to even come to this understanding that there is a system like this which works, I think that is immense. And then in his own small level, whatever he could do, he repertorized, he proved the remedies, and then he came up with some theories and how we understand homeopathy, which holds true even today. But any science which stops growing becomes a dead science. It cannot be beginning and end. Homeopathy is like our scriptures, ancient scriptures in India. It was never written by one person. Can you say who wrote Vedas? We don't know. Who wrote Upanishads? We don't know. Who wrote chakra system? We don't know. That is because it is work of many. And that work still continues. Even today, we make changes in our chakra system. Like, for example, we have made that change, and that it is not a change. We have highlighted another aspect of it. We are not changing it. We are just bringing to light another dimension without changing any truth of that chakra system. And that is that we can understand chakra system through the PEM understanding. Today, when you say chakra 1, suddenly I can understand what will be if somebody has a very strong chakra 1, how he will be as a human being. Because I know his inner age. If somebody is chakra 5, I can immediately tell you what sort of remedies can come if he is chakra 5. So that is also mapping. So if we had a map which was doing the physical symptoms, the mental symptoms like the minerals, plants, and these maps are there, animal and plant charts, then what was the use of chakras? Because now chakras bring everything together. It not only brings the repertory, you can tell you all the physical pathology now. Chakra will tell you what sort of illness you will get. If you have a kidney problem, I can tell you which is your chakra which is involved. If you have a heart problem, I'll tell you where it is. If you have a psychiatric problem, schizophrenia, I'll tell you where you belong to. It tells you your mental makeup. It tells you your emotional makeup. It also tells you what are your spiritual lessons, what spiritual things you are undergoing and what you need to learn. Nothing can be more holistic. It covers the whole gamut of health issues. What is health? And as defined by WHO, it covers everything. So now I can't say it's only for psychiatry, it is only for this, and it is only for mind. First thing what we needed to do is to correct our repertory by creating maps for the mind. So we have now a complete way of repertorizing. Physical symptoms, we go to our repertories. Mind symptoms, we go to these maps. And now bringing everything together, that was the work of the chakras. And now I really feel everything comes together. And I'm sorry, I've digressed. This is not our topic today. But before that, I needed to tell you this. So today's topic is mollusk, and it is invertebrate aquatic animal. So first and foremost, what is an invertebrate? So main theme of animals is survival. Now, why it is survival? Because what we talk about this chakra system is not only specific to humans, it is for every living thing. Every living thing. Even plants have it. And animals have. But we have evolved from mammals. We are mammals in a way. You see, in my animal chart, there is no human being put there. Somebody will say, why? You are not a mammal? No. We begin where the mammals end. So we came from the primates, we say. So mammals, if you see the highest chakra in the animals, that is our lowest chakra. From there, we take our journey ahead. So animals are surviving. Can you imagine the life of an animal when they are in the jungle? All the time alert, and their issue is survival. Anytime you can be attacked. So how to master this? How not to be attacked? How to be survive in those situations? So our chakra one has to do with survival, and that is from where we begin our journey. Okay. So animal theme, we are all in a transition from animal to superhumans. Our human life is to become spiritual. So from animal to divinity, this is our journey. We are all becoming divine, whether you like it or not. If you're doing it consciously and with awareness, better for you. And anyway, it happens eventually as you go up, rise up in this evolution. So we all have an animal within and we are moving. So what is the theme of animal? It is survival. Now there are two groups of animals, the invertebrates and the vertebrates. And the invertebrates, the nervous system is not so developed. They say no, you are an invertebrate without a spine. Sometimes we abuse people like this. So their nervous system is not so developed. So what will happen? Very sensitive to sensory inputs. So if you have a patient whom you think of an animal, but he's very sensitive to noise, light, touch, vibrations, pain, it suddenly makes you think, oh, he has that sensitivity. That means the nervous system is not that strong. Or because they are the beginners of the animal kingdom, they are governed by instincts. So they are very basic. They are more basic than the vertebrates because they are earlier. So what you see is most of the invertebrates are governed by instincts mostly. It's like they are preoccupied with basic things: food, sex, hunger. We say, no, roti, kapda, makan, food, shelter, and clothing, and thirst. Hmm? Or food, shelter, and clothing. So these are the things, they are very basic. They are only interested, how will I get my food? What will be my clothing? Where will I live? How will I be safe? And they are very self-centered. It's all about them and protecting themselves. Another thing is they have a strong issue of life and death. If it's a mosquito, what do you do? Hit it, no? There's a sudden death. Mammals don't die suddenly, no? Unless there is an accident or something of that sort. Though there's fear of sudden death and need to feel safe, and they have a very short lifespan. So somebody is coming with fear of sudden death. I'm not saying take any one thing at a time, but take all the things together. Sudden death, the patient is very basic, talking about basic things. He's sensitive to so many things. Oh, so it could be invertebrate. Doesn't it make easy? Half of your animals are out of your trying to analyze whether these things are there or not. See, the whole idea about homeopathy is when it began 270 years to be exact. Hahnemann, it was a blind procedure. We knew, but we didn't know how it worked. And we were trying to find out methods by which we could come to a remedy. And that is why repertorization. Repertorization is a blind process. Okay, I know the provings. These are the rubrics. Take the rubric, see what all comes, and from that you see. So it is very blind. Procedure is blind. There's advantage of that. Blind procedure, the advantage is that there are personal prejudices go away. And that is our foundation. This is how we all began. When I began homeopathy, also we were only repertorizing cases. That time I didn't know any of that sensation method or any other method, or there was no Jan Scholten and no other books or nothing was there. Not even computer. So we were repertorizing. And we were happy because we knew it was truth because we were seeing results, but we didn't know why. So our questioning mind is not satisfied. So what is our journey? Human journey is from darkness to light. No, this prayer, asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutam gamaya. So we have to move from darkness to light. This is also our chakra. First chakra is dark, the womb, and sixth chakra is the light, the eye, the sixth, out of the seven chakras. So light, from darkness to light. So as we evolved, even our system has to go up the chakra system. We have to bring our science to light. So that which was, intuitively we knew that it is a good science. Intuitively we know it works. We don't know why. And that is why we were in a problem how to explain to these allopaths who are all the time attacking us. But now we have clarity why it works, how it works. And chakra system is the energy system of your body. Allopaths will not know because they don't know that there's a vital force there. But our ancient seers knew it. And this whole chakra system, that whole body is made up of chakra system, the energy patterns. This is from where acupuncture, acupressure, color therapy, crystal therapy, all these things generated. And now we also are putting homeopathy onto that map. So it's obvious, no? If your remedy is by energy, medicine is energetic pattern, has energy. So you should know what are the energetic patterns in your body, and that's what you are treating. So if I know I know that this remedy has more emphasis on this particular chakra, and then you give that remedy because you know the pathology of the patient is of that chakra, then it makes a magic. So this method also makes us more clear what we give, because you'll see the mental makeup of the patient and the physical illnesses all speak the same language. When we take a physical illness and do repertorization, we don't know which one to choose out of the 4 and 5 remedies which come up in the end on repertorization. Because we don't know what is the mental matchup which we will get for each of those remedies. But now with this method, the maps, the mind and the body, we believe in homeopathy, mind and body is affected at the same time. It cannot be that you have physical pathology, but nothing happens to your mind. Allopaths believe in a concept of psychosomatic. Mind affects body or body affects mind. We as homeopaths believe mind and body is affected at the same time. So when somebody comes with a physical problem, study the physical and see what is it in the mind and is it connected. Or if it is a totally mental case, take some physicals and see how both speak the same language. So your invertebrate nervous system not good, very instinctual, high sensitivity, sudden death, and they cannot make relationship of any kind. This is not possible for them because it's all about them. Just like in the plants, you have monocotyledon, dicotyledon. What is mono? Mono means my world is me. So for an invertebrate, their world is them. They don't have existence. For example, a mollusk will not think at how my actions will affect. They are only thinking what my father can do for me, my mother can do for me, what everybody can do for him, because he's the center of his universe. Whereas we in the vertebrate columns, the mammals, you see, you grow through interaction by give and take. You are in relationship with somebody, there is a give and take, and through that interaction you grow. It's not one-way traffic like a child. So they are more like child. Secondly, they are not very differentiated because they are early. As I told you, homeopathy was very undifferentiated. Now it's becoming very differentiated. It means very clarity, So they're younger in evolution, so they are more raw and archaic. So when you say the symptoms, when the patient is talking, you'll see that they are very undefined, very vague in which way they are explaining their symptoms. A little bit, if you are very sharp, then you're not going to be happy. Sometimes you talk to these people, and when they talk, you see that they are wandering, they cannot focus, they cannot tell, they are not resolute, they don't know what they're exactly happening to them. As if they're not so well connected to their systems. Another thing is their borders. As you develop more, you have a sense. What is ego? Ego is sense of separateness. Somebody has a high ego, so it means it's me, I, and the others. So there's a lot of borders. There's a lot of separation of yourself from the others. The more you are egoistic, more you separate yourself from the others. So here the ego is not that developed. So what you see that borders are not so well defined. So everything can affect them. Like you saw, no? They are very sensitive to touch, noise, everything. That is also because their egos or their borders are not defined. So they need to protect themselves. Mollusk. How's a mollusk? Mollusk by itself means soft. It's a jelly. How it will not be affected? So how do you take care? They have an external shield for protection. Many of them. So all the mollusks are in the shell. Even insects have a chitinous material outside. You look at a cockroach, no? There's a hard material outside. In a way, it protects you. So you need an external shield because you have not developed your own personal boundary. Then these patients, when you are having a consciousness of this sort of an animal within you, you don't start feeling something big about yourself. There's a feeling, oh, I'm too small. A sense of smallness, a general sense of smallness. I am weaker, smaller compared to others. Now, being the very early stages, you're governed a lot by fears and sudden fears. Even if you again see your chakra system, then your whole journey is from fear to faith. What is faith? Nothing will happen. Only that which is going to happen will happen, and whatever will happen will be good for me. But when you're very young in your evolution, You're ridden by fears because you feel so vulnerable, small, weak, and sudden death. Everything is sudden. This sort of energy you see in invertebrates. So yet we have not come to mollusks. We are first coming to invertebrates, okay? I'm sorry, I'm going to, if you have, give me permission and if you all are free, I'll take some more time. But let's talk about it properly. So that what happens is, even if you, some of you who have some other work, then please revisit this recorded lecture so that you will hear the rest of the lecture. So their responses are hyper to the outer world. Suddenly, like this, panic attacks, extreme mood changes, no middle way, there's no balance. Second, they're not so evolved. So you don't expect morality comes from social behavior. And social behavior comes when you're interacting with others. It's only when you're thinking of others, no morality comes. It's like I like a very nice pen, which is lying down. My first attempt is, oh, I'll pick it up. But then I'll think, no, think of the person whose pen it belongs to. Or I find a purse on the road. I say, I'm not going, I know that the address is there in the purse, but I'm not going to tell, I'm going to keep it because there is some 10,000 rupees inside. But my morality will tell, think of the pain of the person who has lost that purse. And I could be in that same situation. So morality comes from thinking of the other person. So there's a sense of right and wrong. This is not correct. Insects, are many of them are shameless. They're governed by instincts, no? Highly sexual, shameless, and not thinking about the consequences of their actions. So they have very low moral sense. And if we see our journeys from material to spiritual, so it's but obvious that invertebrates have more materialistic orientation. They don't have higher values. They don't see life in terms of what is the higher purpose of my life. That seems to be lacking. You see so many ways you can define. Self-centered personality is whatever I will told you. And then a very beautiful thing, this is very important. Sensitivity of a plant with animal issues. So if you see my chart, in the invertebrate, the first remedy I have put is Spongia and Bediaga. In the first column, first, they look like plants. Spongia looks like underwater plant. No? Even if you see, you will not say it's an animal. It's even grounded, rooted like a plant. So if you see the transition of our evolution from minerals, minerals were building blocks, structure. So what was lacking in that? How to build, a structure, but it does not have any sensitivity. So the first thing that mineral kingdom had to learn was how to be sensitive. Then it becomes alive. So the main theme of plants, that is why sensation methods use sensations in the plants for its diagnosis, because that is the main theme, that they are sensitive. Not that animals are not sensitive or plants you don't see sensitivity. It's a little dangerous thing when we say sensitive, but nevertheless, they are sensitive to many things. It means they are affected in many ways by external things. And in what way they are affected is going to tell you which is the plant kingdom. Then came, but it is not only incomplete. Let's say a gardener comes to pick up or cut a rose from a tree with a scissor. The plant can't do anything, just wait and react by its sensitivity and reactivity, but there is no movement. It cannot say, no, chalo, run away. I am in danger. So the third step which we needed was movement. So one thing is, where the main theme of the case is movement, think of an animal. This is very important. Minerals hardly give you any hand gestures. But a plant will give you many sensations. So they'll give a lot of hand gestures. But the hand gestures will tell you how you feel inside you how you feel inside you. If the gesture is, then I felt, as if I was tight or I was coughed. This is more plant. Whereas animal kingdom, if their gestures will be of movement. A mollusk will say, then I withdrew. I withdrew. Or a tiger will say, I pounced on him. There is action. So the main theme of animals is action. Now, plants became animals. So the first animals were very sensitive like plants. That's why invertebrates are sensitive like plants. They're animals, but they have plant-like sensitivity. That's why, oh, the light affects me, this affects me, that affects me. And invertebrates are mainly used also by plants, no? What are insects used for? Pollination by the plants. So they serve the plants. In butterflies, I differentiate all the different butterflies only from which plant they feed on. Because if it is you're going to eat from the lemon tree, then you're going to have remedies, some symptoms of that lemon tree. If you're going to eat from leguminosae, you're going to have symptoms of leguminosae. How beautiful, you can't imagine. That every insect, butterfly will have the same themes of that plant because it feeds on that, and butterflies feed on specific plants. So in invertebrates, you will see a lot of plant-like sensitivity. Even spiders, you see, they have a lot of sensations are very, very strong in them, sensitive to noise like theridion and animal issues. So when they come together, plant-animal combo, then you think of invertebrate. This is very important thing. This another important, very important part. Now, this point is also very important is in animal, we say survival, no, there is always an aggressor, victim aggressor, no, somebody is doing something to me. In invertebrates, that somebody is non-specific. It's like I'm sensitive to reprimand. Huh? I'm sensitive to reprimand. That is common even in plants. Then it doesn't matter whether my teacher is reprimanding me, or my father is reprimanding me, or my uncle is reprimanding me, or whoever. So the aggressor is non-specific. It is what they do to me is important. And what they do when they are doing, I start shaking. So I shake because of many, many people who can do the same thing. So the enemy is not particular. Whereas in vertebrates, the enemy is specific. A snake will say, my mother-in-law is my problem. My boss is my problem. I have no issues with anybody else. So there is specificity of the aggressor. Whereas in invertebrates, aggressor can be anybody. But what happens is, it is not that who is doing it, but they are touching your sensitivity. So again, you see that plant quality. So these are the important things. Now, for you right now, for people who are hearing it for the first time, it's theory. What we need to do is how you see it in patients. And that is an art, and you have to learn. Please contact all these wonderful teachers of BM who are doing, get anybody who's even staying close to you and just push yourself and tell them, I want to be assistant, sit with them or join some course, learn it and use it in practice. This is a very important tool. And these differentiations are very important. Then all the sea creatures, now we have come to invertebrates and sea creatures. So you will have qualities of the sea. Now, what are the qualities of the sea? Aquamarina. So aquamarina is not just some salt water. Aquamarina is not just namak ka pani. The ingredients have to be same. Can you imagine? Now our atmosphere, our milieu, our atmosphere is made up of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and whatever in rare little amounts of hydrogen and whatever is there. Let's say the composition changes, oxygen becomes less or nitrogen becomes less or whatever one composition changes, it will affect our survival. For us to live, Why are we talking about pollution? Because we are changing our atmosphere. We need that. That is why you have the plants which give out oxygen. We give out carbon dioxide, and there is a homeostasis. Finally, our concentration of carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, and whatever is same. Similarly, in the sea, it is same. Can you imagine the fish? Someday you have more phosphorus, one day you will not have, someday there is more natriumur, nat sodium chloride. You can't do that. So it is a very perfect combination. So it is not just salt water. It is a specific salt water. It's a specific combination. And that is what is keeping all the sea creatures alive. And Dr. Shankaran's father had proved this. And what he found is that people feel as if he's spied upon, he's watched. So this is very typical of this, all sea creatures. What is the main feeling? As I told you, invertebrates feel small, they feel vulnerable, they don't feel they are developed. I'll give you a wonderful example. Not wonderful, I don't know if it's wonderful, but example. Let's say there's a party going on. Party, it's a party time, Christmas, we are all got together. Nice food and music, dancing. Some people are very comfortable looking for the party and part of the party. Then there are many who are thinking, oh, I want to join the party, but I don't know. I'm so self-conscious. If I go, people will be looking at me. They'll be watching me. I am not so confident about myself. I feel very embarrassed. So I'm very closed. I feel something is not okay about me. What if I go there and what if they find that out? These are sea creatures because of aquamarina. Because they don't feel they belong to the party. They have something more to develop. They feel there is something wrong with them. And because of the natrium ure has maximum natrium sodium chloride, they are all closed. They are very reserved. But not from hurt. Natrium ure is from hurt. Aquamarina is from a feeling that something is wrong with me. I am not good enough. I am not okay. Very non-specific, I am not okay. They will not say I am not okay because I am not good looking. Whether you're good looking or not, that inner feeling is of not being okay. And when you're not okay, how it is, when you feel there is something wrong with you, you're all the time watching others, no? Do they come to know what is wrong with me? Will they come to know? So you feel you're spied upon, you're watched. So it's a very psychotic remedy. Lot of cover up, ailments from anticipation. If I'll go, what will happen there? So you avoid. No, I'm not going to the party. So 3 A's: anticipation, avoidance, and what is the third one? Where you cover up, you don't want
Acceptance.
acceptance. You need acceptance. देखो ना अभी बुड्ढा हो गया यार मैं. Acceptance. Acceptance is very important. I need to feel accepted. So you see, this is not. So all these qualities are going to be there in a sea creature. So you're going to get invertebrate symptoms and aquamarina symptoms. Animal cases are very complex. Another way of differentiating all the three kingdoms is minerals have only one issue specific. Plants have maybe one or two dimensions. But how complex the case is shows their level of development. Imagine in the 80s when the computers came out, they were the big, huge dinosaur computers which hardly did any work. And now you have small, compact ones. Size is very small, but it is so many functions. Composite is the most developed plant kingdom, but they are small, tiny. You can injure them, you can walk over them. They are not the conifers which you think are the most developed. Those small plants lying around on the roadside, they are the most evolved. So it is how complex they are. So animals are very complex. You have somewhere animal issues, then you see the invertebrate issues, then you see the sea and aquamarina issues. And then you see specific issues. Is it a crustacean? Is it a mollusk? Or is it even earlier than that, like the Proiferous Cnidaria, Echinodermata? So aquatic animals have a tendency to withdraw, be close, to hide. They need protection from outside. And they are more connected with the inside, the unconscious. They are governed by inside. They are not connected. They are governed by inside. And inside is full of instincts. Inside is full of fears. And they are lesser developed than land animals. That's why they feel something is not okay. And what is that? I am lesser. Somewhere I am not as developed as them. So they also have, many of them lead a double life, no? Amphibians are inside and outside. Snakes are, you see, in the sea and outside. Crustaceans, you see, they are inside and outside. What about mollusks? They are in the shell and outside the shell. Then there is a strong connection with water, and water being a feminine element. Hmm? I don't want to go why water is feminine element. Hmm? You begin your life in water kingdom, no? In the womb. Water is nourishing. Hmm? So you see water qualities, the feminine qualities. Then you have something specific. You show some connection. Either you hate seaside, you love seaside, like aquamarina. Aquamarina, medorinum, both have the same thing. An aversion to fish, or you love fish, or you desire salt. So I'm not going to read the first. So aquatic animals, in the chart, you will see that they are the first three columns of the chart. So they roughly resemble the first three subclasses of the Yakir chart. So what is the first column? Just beginning your existence as an animal. So it's almost like early stages of conception time. Then the main womb type. The second column is where you're in the womb, because they are the womb stages. And the third one is coming out of the womb, like nitrogen, oxygen in the mineral kingdom. So crustaceans are the ones which want to come out of the sea. The snakes and all, you see reptiles, some of the reptiles are like in the alligator and the turtle are in the water, but tortoise and snakes, many of the snakes also are in and water, but also outside water. So they are in and out. So the first column is coming into existence, almost like the conception time, the first 4 months of your life. Then the second column represents from 4 months to 9 months. And the last column is coming out of the womb, which is like the right side of the periodic table of the lithium line. So mollusk is the second largest phylum of animal kingdom. Can you imagine? So how much more we need to give this particular group of remedies, and all who are doing this know that it is very, very, very common in our practice. Okay. So they are the commonest sea invertebrates. And what is the common in them? They have soft bodies enclosed within a shell. Of course, some are without shell. We'll talk about it. So first column, in the vertebrates, you have fish. In this, you have porifera, etc. In the second column, you have mollusks. Element-wise, you have water, earth, and fire. So you see earth element. Earth means grounding, coming into the existence. So, and then you have the crustaceans. Crustaceans is coming out. It's almost like cactus family or nitrogen, oxygen, where you're coming out, and the main theme is suffocation, no? That is because when you have to come out, it is like nitrogen, oxygen. So a lot of nitricum-like symptoms. Then you have the terrestrials, where you have the insects here, in the mammals in the vertebrates, and here you have spiders and birds. So forget this earth and all, don't complicate too much. So Latin word mollusc means soft. Khatam ho gaya udhar. You know how they hold very often when the mollusk comes, no? I'll say, come on, shake hand. They'll only give their fingers. As if, you might press my hands hard. There itself, I come to know that this guy probably needs, they are very soft. Oh, somebody will shake their hands very tight. They'll say, oh my God, you hurt me. It's like I'm exposing myself by giving my hand to you. So they are characterized by soft, fleshy bodies. But that is why they need to cover with a hard shell. So very often you can't make out because they are covered up. Okay. Now there are three main classes of it. Introduction में 1 घंटा हो गया. Meeta ji, what to do? So we have the bivalves. Bivalves means you have the two valves. Then you have a gastropod where there is a single shell, but you have this animal which comes in and out. And you call it gastropod because it works, it moves on your belly, no? The snail. Gastropod is a snail. It moves on the belly. So gastro means belly. So belly is your foot. And cephalopod is the head is your foot. So these are sepia, nautilus, octopus, squid. Okay. So how will you differentiate? So once you come to the mollusk, they all have a shell. So first we'll see what are the common qualities of a mollusk and then how do you differentiate each one. So shell protects its soft, vulnerable bodies. So shell is what? Like a womb for them. It protects you. So they are womb-like, no? So when I tell you first three columns are of water are like womb, that's why they need a protection from outside. So you have this womb. But in general, what you see is somebody has their mic on. Please shut it. Thank you. So there is this dilemma. What is the dilemma? Womb makes you safe, but it deprives you from the contact with the world. Now you have to understand the genesis of mollusk. So I'll take you a little more further ahead. Before. So in the first column, what happens is there is no shell. Spongia, Badiaga, then there is Cnidarius, the corals and the medusa, the jellyfish. So what you see in them is first thing is in that first thing is what is the main theme of that first column? The feeling is I'm stuck. Why stuck? Because now I'm not a plant. I am an animal and I need to move. So the sensitivity is of being stuck. I should not be stuck because I need to move. So my survival is based on my movement. Other thing is, as I told you, because they are invertebrate, they have no borders. So their whole idea is I have to make a border. And in making the border, what happens as you go down that whole column till you reach the sea urchins or the lowest one, the echinodermata, the first ones feel very vulnerable. There's no border. Then you come to Cnidaria. Porifera has no border. Cnidarians start stinging like the jellyfish. Everybody who has got stung by a jellyfish will know. They sting you. Even the corals sting you. You put your hand there and you can get a sting. That is their protection. It's like, keep away from me. Then you have these worms. Worms need an external protection. Where are the worms? Worms are mostly in the human body or animal bodies, no? So they directly take nutrition from the host. So it is almost like an umbilical cord. They don't produce their own and they need the womb. But they feel safe because they are in human body or animal body. Or they are under the earth, like the earthworms and Mother Earth. And that protects you. And by the time you come to echinodermata, you make a big shell around you, the sea urchin. It is like this, it is like you're completely capsulated. Now nobody can harm me. It's like you're now completely covered and you're totally safe. So they're very happy that now I'm protected. So they're happy for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. After which they say, I'm supposed to be an animal. Am I only going to be protected? I'm supposed to move. So I'm safe, but I am not living. So there becomes the next session. The next session is, I want to feel safe, but I want to move. That is the beginning of mollusk. So I'm soft. So bivalve is mostly inside. Little bit for eating, it will remove its body out and take the food in. Gastropod comes out a little more. And by the time you are cephalopod, you say, now I don't need the shell. Now I feel safe because of my other reasons. So I don't need a shell. So you understand? The second column is now how I come out of the shell and yet be safe. And then there's more life. So what is the main feeling of mollusk? That the shell provides me with safety. I feel safe, but it is depriving me from the contact of the world. If I'm out, बाप dangerous. If I'm in, what is my life? यानी दोनों बाजू से थप्पड़. You get a slap from both sides. So as they evolve, they gradually try to come out of their shell, or they lose their shell gradually as they evolve and face the world without shell. So what is the main theme of mollusk is double life. One in the one inside the shell and one is outside. Just like the amphibians, who are in and out of water. So what the mollusk must learn is to how to experience life and yet feel safe. So they are very similar to Hemimelidae. They are also in the same level of development. So the beauty of this PM method is, and especially when you use neutral chakra system, that it is not specific to any one kingdom. It could be plant, mineral, animal, whatever. So it helps you with correspondence. Like one patient was brought to me by a homeopath who was treating that patient for so many years with nitricum, nitrogen, oxygen, nitrous oxide, what all combinations of nitrogen, oxygen. She says, I was dead sure that this is the state of level of development of the patient. So when the patient came, I said, yeah, you're right. It's not working. Why? Because you're giving in the mineral kingdom. I said, give cactus. And there was magic. Just I changed the kingdom. But from nitricum, I came to know what to give in a plant. This is the beauty. So, Hemimelidae both have the same feeling, in and out. And in the end of the column, we have the cephalopod. So if you go up to down in the chart, you'll see the bivalves, then the gastropod, then cephalopods. This is their level of development. And gradually, they are coming more and more out of the shell. So how much they are out of the shell and how much they need shell and how much they move is going to tell you which is the mollusk you have to give. How much are you moving and how much you want the safety of the shell? These are the two main things. So mollusks have a shell for their protection. The world beyond their shell appears to be very threatening. They retreat into their shell whenever there is danger. And this is their hand gesture, including sepia, all of them. It is their instinct survival reaction. Andar ja baba, go in. But inside, you start feeling claustrophobic. Who will feel more claustrophobic inside? Maximum cephalopod because they want to be outside. It's like sepia. A woman is made to sit at home. She'll be claustrophobic. No, I want to go out. Gastropods will also feel claustrophobic because they are used to going out. Bivalve will not feel so much because they are used to being inside. So this is called spasmodic reaction. So the spasms are very important. So they retract to avoid painful external experiences because world is too dangerous for them. They feel extremely vulnerable and they feel unprotected, exposed. So they go inside and shut in. So now let us see correspondence with the mineral kingdom. How are you going to come to know? First, it's an animal. Come on, I'm not going to give mineral. I'm not going to give plant. It looks like a plant, but it also has sensitivity of a plant, but animal also. So I'm going to give an invertebrate and mostly mollusk. So all mollusks will have themes of carbon series, silica series, and ferrum series. What is that? Like carbon series is what? Womb, no? So they need womb-like protection. And all of them have very strong dependency needs, like the remedies from the womb stage. Secondly, they are like the natramure line, the silica series. That is because all sea creatures live in the sea. So all of them will have natramure quality because natramure is the biggest compound which you find in the sea. Not that other things are not there. And then they're very reserved, they're closed. So you have natremure symptoms. And you'll also see more infant-like qualities, that they can regress into thumb sucking or sleeping with their blanket. So you know that they have natremure qualities or infant level of development. So they have womb level of development, infant level of development, and school age level of development. Why school age? Because of calcium. Calcium is ferrum series. Ferrum series is school age. So there'll be theme of money, health. They're all hypochondriac, worry too much about their health. And money is very important. And themes of robbers entering their house is also very, very common. Anybody will say theme coming into a robbers coming into a house, oh, arsenicum though. It could be a mollusk. And they have a sensation as if they can be crushed, broken, smashed. Because the shell, no, it can be broken. And they are sensitive like a plant. So they can use a lot of words. I want to hide, withdraw, I want to conceal, I want to become inaccessible, I want to go out of reach, I want to pull myself in, these are the words they use. Okay. So as I told you, the main energy is closing and drawing hands backwards and inwards. So inside, it deprives them of pleasure and excitement. But their longing is to remain within the protective security of the self. So I feel safe, but I have to pay a price. And what is that? I'm not enjoying life. There's no pleasure. I feel cut off. Same time, you also start feeling claustrophobic inside because you don't know what is happening outside in the world. So expressions of a mollusk patients can be about the body and mental. All of them might say, oh, they might give you examples, things of, I'm so soft or gelatin or jelly-like. I hate jelly-like things. So anything to do with their body, soft body. Other thing they talk about is being very vulnerable. I feel safe, unsafe, I feel unprotected. Then they show this withdrawal action, which is their defensive reaction. Then they can give you qualities of the shell. They can talk about house, the shield, the fort, the walls around them. Then they can tell you about the experience inside the shell, that I feel very safe inside, but I'm disconnected. And threat to mollusk. This is very important because all the crustaceans and other creatures break through that shell to eat the mollusk. So there's very big scare. This is their home, no? Their big scare is somebody will drill, break up and come and swallow me up or suck me out. This is that fear of robbers. This is my house, somebody will break in and then there is danger to my life. So threat to the mollusk. Another very important point which people don't know how to and can confuse a student is that very often these bivalves and all, when they are just as they begin their life, bivalves and some gastropods start as free-floating larvae in the sea. And as they develop the shell, no, they start coming down, 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 as they become heavy. But initial stages of their existence, they are floating in the water. So very often you may get sensations of I was floating, I was drifting, I was swimming, I'm not grounded, I need an anchor. And that can scare you because you say, why is floating coming? Mollusk is not floating. But in their life cycle, they go through this. This I already told you. Animals are multi-axials. They are very complex. So how are you going to define? As you saw in this case, no? Animal, if they are very multiple, we said, no, the animal have theme of survival. So they have one strategy which they use everywhere. All the mollusks will withdraw in. For example, snake. They will hide where they don't need to hide. Because for them to feel exposed is very dangerous. So even when they are not necessary, they will be hiding. So when you use a strategy everywhere, whether it is required or not, that makes you a specific. Bird wants to be free. Don't want any restriction. This is their main idea. Leave me alone. I want to be free. They feel trapped and I want to escape. Every situation can produce this whole idea of what is their specific defense strategy. So now invertebrate, aquatic, grounding process, as I told you, it comes from floating and it has to ground. Grounding is because of calcarea. And then whether it is bivalve, gastropod or cephalopod. Now bivalve, because they have more to do with water element, they are still inside. So when I say water, they are more like the womb stage or natrum line. Gastropods are more like calcarea. They have to do with earth, making money, making houses, do. So even the theme, bivalve will be more about emotions, about being inside. Gastropods have to do with more with earning money, building resources. Cephalopod has to do with creativity. It is more like an adolescent. They want air, they want speed. Sepia wants movement. So I'm not going to tell you what are the difference between the water, earth, and the science. So we'll quickly go into what are bivalves. So what are the names of certain bivalves? Scallops, clams, oyster, mussels. And you're going to see all of these cases, okay? When you'll do if at all you are doing the course, or people who have already done the course know it. So they have a body which is located in the two valve shell. And they need to fasten themselves to the bottom structure. Because it is from the transition from the first column to the second, they don't move much. Locomotion is very poor. So you'll see least amount. These are the people who want to live in the house. They don't want to get out of the house. And their foot, the bivalves have the foot, which is used only for digging and for going down and to be feel protected. So because the locomotion is not there, mostly these are the people who are very sedentary. So locomotion is limited or not possible at all. For example, oyster. Oyster, it goes and attaches itself to the rocks below the sea and cement themselves there. They don't move at all. Mussels is what you see are at the seashore, and what they do is they go and that is Mytilus edulis. So they go and attach themselves near the seaside on the rocks with they are not cemented. They are able to move, they detach and move. But they are on the seaside in the what is that word called? Intertidal zone. So when the tide comes, the water, they go underwater. When the tide goes out, they are outside. So that also brings about certain themes of mussels. But what is their whole idea? They are also attached to the rocks, but with their almost like with their tendrils. Then the clam. Clam is what you see in on the beach. If you go, you'll see tiny holes in the sand. So these are the ones who use their legs to go down, 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 and bury themselves in the sand. So you see, they don't want to move. They want to only bury. They want to hide. They are almost like womb stage. I have many patients who are completely homebound, who are agoraphobic, who may be even schizophrenic, who connect to the world only through television or internet, through laptops or whatever mobiles and WhatsApp and whatever. Otherwise, they have no connection. Even food, the family has to keep the food outside the door. They'll quickly open the door and take the food in and close the door. And we have such patients because they're living the life of a bivalve. Clams, they are completely under the Venus Merson area. They are completely under the sand. And then they have a little bit of telescope, which they see from outside. Oh, what is happening in the world outside? It's almost they are under the sand, but they are only watching. And inside, is there any danger to me? And when there's danger, they'll pull that also inside. So main thing is miasm is psychotic avoidance, hiding, secrecy. And what you see in their behavior, main is to fix, anchor, attach. ground themselves, burrow, go deep into. And there are many remedies here. I'm not going to go deeper into it. Concholinum. Concholinum is that inner shining layer which you see in the oyster, that shell, or some of the cases of mussels, you will see that inner layer, which is, very rainbow-like, iridescent inner layer. Then you have oysters. Then you have Mytilus odulus, Chrysostria gigas, which is a Pacific oyster. Then you have Mytilus edulus. Pectin jacobius, the scallop. Perna caniculata, which is a mussel, Venus mercenaria. We have already discussed and we have seen pearl. Pearl is part of these oysters. So these are the remedies which many of them would be covered, the important ones. Then comes the gastropod. So here you have the snails. Forget all the other names. Snails. Now this is 70% of the mollusks are snails. You can look at this picture, no? Belly foot. So they live on the land and ocean. Now there is more movement. They are walking snow, no? We say, no, don't walk like a snail. You are walking like at a snail speed. So they are creeping and crawling. But they are outside the shell. You see, they are carrying their home on their back. But if there's danger, they go in. Now you can see the evolution. Now they have come out. So this is the ones which has maximum, because they're going out. This theme of, when I'm out, there's danger. When I'm in, I'm. And many of these snails, like you have many of them, like this Helix comentia, the shell of this. But the ones which we are usually using is Cypria eglantina, the cowrie snail. You know the cowrie which you used to play? Helix aspersa. These two are the most important. Others are the sea slug, Cretania peregrine. This is only one shell and they fasten themselves to the rock. You can't pull them out. Fevicol remedy. And then you have Cypria eglantina and Helix. This is very important. This is a sea snail and this is a land snail. And how to differentiate this? There is more water element here, there's more earth element here, and that will be discussed. Once you come to a mollusk, then you have to come to a gastropod, and then we can go into it. So Cypria eglantina is more to do with emotions, the water element. This is more to do with the womb stage. And Helix aspersa has to do with more making money and everything. Murex purpura. This is like old age. Dragging pains. The shell is so big. You know that shankha vagere type. Very sharp, spiky, big shell. And the animal is small. Can you imagine? If you have to carry a backpack, it is okay for you. But if you have to carry one big cart full of things behind on your back, it's tiring, no? It's too much. So it's the dragging pains and symptoms of old age. So this is something which you all will learn. I cannot do it in this short because it's an introductory course. And then the cephalopods. Now I don't need the shell. Enough is enough. I don't need the shell. This is the story of a woman. No, don't keep me in the house now. I am as good or even better than most men. I can go out, I can make money, I can do everything. So she wants to go out into the world and live life and not be restricted to the home. This is the exact story of cephalopod, the story of a woman. So here you have the nautilus, octopus, the squid, and the cuttlefish or sepia. Okay, the shell may be external. For example, nautilus has a shell, or it can be internal, small red rudimentary shell, which is there in sepia. The picture is of sepia. Or it is octopus where there is no shell at all. Now, what is the difference? The action is very rapid, jet propelled there. Now, when there is no shell, if there is danger, what will they do? Just speed. They can move so fast That's why you see sepia, no, better by movement. Now you tell, if you know the source, would you like to by heart just better the movement is sepia? Why you want to do it so blindly? If you know this creature, you know the level of development, that it is a mollusk, but for its speed is important because it has gone, lost the shell. And this is the energy of this remedy which you are resonating within you. And that is why you are also showing the similar symptom. This is more important. Another is camouflage. I think you should go today on net and check, sepia, camouflage, and sepia, the speed, jet propel. You will be amazed. So when they are on the floor of the sea, they can take any size, shape, any uh, pattern on them, and you will not know that they are existing. So camouflage is very important for octopus and cuttlefish. Other way is inking. No? Sepia will release an ink so that the predator doesn't know where they are in that cloud, and then you escape. You see how developed they have become now. They are smart, no? They are not like those bivalves. They have more strategies. They are more equipped. Now they are ready to go out. And then they go into the third stage of development, and that is crustaceans. Other thing is autotomy. You see the amount of complexity, they can detach one aspect of them. And so here there's a lot of air quality. And that is, they feel restricted, they need freedom. They can also have a lot of creativity. So this is the quality, air quality you see more in adolescence. So very often you'll see quite a few of their symptoms are like spiders. For example, sepia can be mistaken for natramure because it's a sea creature. Sepia can be mistaken for Naxwamika because she's a go-getter, goes out into the world and does. And sepia can be mistaken for tarantula because of the activity and the adolescent quality and the spider-like qualities in them. So they can be very asocial. So now I was telling you about the party, the story of party. The sea creatures are, oh, I want to go for party, but I'm not good enough. Whereas the aerial, the adolescent will say, who wants to go for the party? Stupid people go there. They feel, they disown, I'll be different. I don't want to go and dance the same way. What nonsense is going on? So they want to get out of the party. So the sea creature party is the terrestrial animals. Sea creatures are the ones who want to join party, and aerial animals are the one who wants to leave the party. No, this is boring, yeah. I want to do something different. So here you have this Loligo vulgaris, which is the squid. Then you have the Heledon cirrhosa, which is the octopus. Then you have the nautilus. Then we have another squid. Then we have octopus. Then you have sepia. So life began in the sea. Molluscs are one of the earliest remedies. Correspondence, we already told you, lithium line of development because they need protection like that of a womb. Natron line qualities because of aquamarine, and calcium qualities because of the shell. And what is the evolution? Bivalves, they are more like lithium line. Gastropods are more like calcarea line, building resources, making money. They want to go out, but they feel very vulnerable. And soon they want to withdraw inside, and they are like hemimelidae. And then cephalopods, which are more like silver line, freedom, creativity. And all three of them show aquamarina features. Let's finish in short. So in bivalve, the shell is completely enclosed. The animal is completely enclosed. Mobility, very poor locomotion. And that movement is only to make them fasten themselves to the bottom structure. Threat is somebody will break the shell by hammering, piercing, crushing. Survival, go into the shell and wall themselves out from the outside world. And what is very important is grounding and fastening to the ground. This is their survival. They use their feet mainly to burrow or ground themselves to be grounded. Gestures are more of opening and closing because this is the bivalve. And the same duality. Shell provides protection but deprives them from the contact with the outer world. But this you see more in gastropods because they are in and out. And miasm is psychotic. Gastropod, they are partially enclosed now in the shell. Shell is not completely enclosing them. And movement is more than that. Again, the threat is same. Somebody can break inside. Survival is now withdrawing into the shell, not fastening themselves. And hand gesture is not this, but more like this. And the duality, which we have already talked about. Cephalopod, they have the functional cell is absent. They might be there, but it's rudimentary. So they miss the protection of the cell. So they need lot of mobility. They are the most active mollusks. No shell, so use for other defense mechanisms like camouflage and escaping. So PM understanding, mollusks represent 3 stages of development: the womb stage, infancy and toddler stage, and school age, which represents carbon, silica, and ferrum, and adolescence in cephalopods. This, I think, I will not tell now. That can become too much. Not bad. I think I'll stop you. And after this, I will expect my colleagues and all to take over. So 1.5 hours. If there's any question anybody wants to ask, please feel free. Meeta can go through the chat and ask if there is anything.
So there was a
All
question.
my friends are here. They know everything. They were prompting me because I was forgetting. What is that word? What is this word?
There's a question that are these medicines available?
Yes. Contact Meeta. She will guide you. Or Priya. She will guide you.
There's no query as such. You can post your queries in the group or you can just
And that
unmute.
can be answered even later. Just put it in the group. Meeta will answer or somebody will answer. Huh?
So please join our Ipema WhatsApp group and the YouTube channel for further informations. So we'll be starting this course on 16th of May.
Dr. Meeta, Dr. Kerawala had asked difference between morality and superego.
There is no difference. Superego is a function, morality is a function of superego. What is superego? Something that is above your ego, which tells you what are you doing, is it correct or not? It is like a watchdog which is telling you what you're doing is right or wrong. So this superego development is not there in so much in the invertebrates. Okay, to some extent rudimentary you might find in mollusks because of the shell which has the school age, but not so much. They are very self-centered. That guilt that I am doing something wrong. What is superego? Superego is, so we were first minerals, then we were plants, then we were animals, then we became humans. What is that in human which is not there in animals? What mainly differentiates human from animals? And that is the capacity to introspect. After you do an action, you go on asking yourself, did I do this right or wrong? Animals don't think, no, what I did. They just do. They were governed by instincts. But we have something that questions ourselves. We introspect. This develops in us. And this is what we call a superego, where you introspect and then you check that the action you have taken is only self-centered or it is in the interest of everybody in general. Somebody comes and gives me a bribe under the table. First thing is I'm taking it. So it is good for me because I'm getting money. I'm getting 1 lakh rupees here. I can go and make a nice holiday in this vacation. But my higher mind says, am I doing right? Because this poor thing was deserved by somebody else. And I'm hurting the rights of somebody by taking my own selfish interest. So this is important. So this introspection is because is your action taking you downwards into selfishness or more into higher realms of your being? Is it going against your conscience? So this is superego. And this is not so much developed in the invertebrates. So it's just the language. Either you use the word morality, or you use conscience, or you use superego, or introspection. Doesn't matter.
Thank you very much, sir.
There
Okay.
is also one question that does earth means wealth?
Earth does not mean only wealth. Earth, there's many things now. I don't want to get, but earth means also, when you say earth, then you are thinking about worldly things, material things, about it's not just emotions and relationships, but your house, your health, your safety, your protection, making a big house, earning a lot of money. All that makes you feel safe in the future. Earth is where you're thinking about future security. There are two types of security. One is immediate security. That comes in the womb stage. That immediate security is there is some snake and it can bite me. There's a tiger, I have to run. This is immediate security. What will I eat today? Other is now that I got food and everything, now I want tastier food here. I got a car, I want better car. I got money, but I want some more money so that I can have a nice trip to Switzerland. I don't want to go to just OT. And I want to insure myself. In my old age, I'll have enough money. Na? कल कुछ हो गया तो am I provided? I am secure today, but what about my tomorrow? So earth can be taken in many ways. Earth by itself is our grounding, our foundation, our basis. It is the first element, the heaviest element. So in terms of element, next comes the water element, then comes the fire element, then comes the air element, then comes ether. So earth is grounding, heavy. But also it has to do with safety, security, survival. So that safety, security, survival issues will change depending upon what level you are developed. Are you only thinking about immediate survival? Some gunman is after you and you want to run and save yourself, or you're thinking about future? When you think about future, there is more adult stage of development. Child doesn't think about future. He wants to go down and play. It is the father who will tell, if you will not study, I'll have to open a pan ka dukan. Meeta is fed up telling everybody, pan ka dukan kholna padega Raipur mein. But even then, they want to play cricket. That is more important. That is immediate. Child is interested in the immediate. Parents are, why do you study? Parents are thinking about their future. So adults are focused on future. Child is focused on immediate. Ice cream mila, balloon dekha to udhar ka udhar बढ़ गया. I just sit down there. I want a balloon. So there is no long term. So there are different dimensions of it, but it is more to do with security, safety, protection, grounding. It is not liquid. It is not emotions. It's not flowing. It gives you steadiness. It gives you a base. You always study this more the more you get into it. Emotions are water element. Yes, Monica.
So we just share this. This is the email ID to order for the book of chakras. And you can join Ipema WhatsApp group.
You
so
can
that
also, if at all, Chakra book is a little bit, it is a little advanced, but they can read. If they have not read the foundation book, would be much better also for them. Foundation book is where all our concepts are put together. That is their introduction into the PEM system. And chakra system will then add on to it.
So we also have this Manthan 2025 where sir is having 6 sessions and he shares a case and we see all the concepts. Then we have these courses of basic and advanced courses are also there. So this number is there on this. Just take a screenshot. You can contact me for the WhatsApp group also. And you'll get all the links of all the lectures and all the information in this group. Link for joining these book reading sessions. So for any information, join the WhatsApp group. And
Okay,
also,
somebody wants to know the pick of the foundation book. Meeta, you can put it on Ipema,
yes,
the
sir.
pick of all our books, so that they can get an idea.
Dr.
Yay! This is so nice.
Yeah. So we are just planning.
आकांक्षा को जान में जान आ गई.
So we request you all to join us. We meet personally once a year. Whole year we are studying. So we meet with Sir personally and he answers to our queries. So we'll be shortly putting all the information of this conclave in again the WhatsApp group. So please join that WhatsApp group. All the informations will be shared there.
And a lot of people, Roland can come to India to see Khajuraho.
Yeah. Daniel has agreed to come this year.
Yes,
Dr.
Almond will be there.
Yeah. So that's why we are keeping it in Khajuraho today, Khajuraho this year, so that, that's a special heritage site.
He said, what will Akanksha like? So Meeta said, Khajuraho. I said, yeah, correct.
I will like any place, sir, wherever you are.
I know na.
This is good.
Akanksha is dil to bachcha hai ji. So we make fun of her.
There is one more question, Meeta.
Yeah. So evolution from mineral, plant, animal to human, well explained. And why do we always distinguish the people in either mineral, plant, or animal kingdom?
We don't have to, in this method, we don't do. You
Yeah.
know, what's the idea of PM? PM means, in homeopathy, we have this concept of individualizing a case, no? How to individualize a case? This is the most important. So, you cannot have 20 ways of individualizing. We believe our system is individualization based on individuation. Remove the LIZA from the middle of individualization and join the word again, then it becomes individuation. So individuation, how much you are individuated. We believe, no, sometimes there can be a very old man, but who's behaving very childish, or a child can be very mature. Sometimes you tell an adult, no, come on, stop behaving like a child. So this, what is your inner? Just like our program is inside. Shankaran says that we have another song. So we have an inner program which is inside us. Similarly, we have an age which is inside us, which comes as a parcel to that age, inner program. That inner age is going to decide your program. So we don't say which kingdom. And after it comes, we decide. Does he need a remedy from animal, plant, animal? We talk about kingdoms because all our remedies from are these kingdoms. But these kingdoms are not easy to distinguish. So many times I'm taking cases of homeopaths and, first thing they tell is, I know, sir, you will not tell me the remedy, but at least tell me my kingdom. If we are struggling with our own kingdom, we don't know whether I'm a plant, mineral, animal. फिर आगे क्या सोचना? It's not that easy. It seemed easy, but there are many animals which look like plants, like we saw just now, and plants which look like animals, and plants which look like Sarracenia and all, which look like animals, and Mercury will feel I'm surrounded by enemies, which is like an animal. So, there's no end. The theme of the halogens is attack and defense, which is such an animal theme. So it's not always easy. So rather than that, if we know where are you developmentally, then it could be any kingdom, anything, and then you see what you want to give. So that way we get out of this whole thing that, if your kingdom is wrong, your whole analysis will go wrong. So we don't put all our emphasis on that one particular thing, which itself is so difficult.
Here's one more question. What kingdoms do remedies like creosote, petroleum, and lapis fall in?
So you have the carbon series, carbon. Hmm? It's a big thing, no, there. Once you go there, and I don't want to go there, but then you have to know what are the levels of development of carbon, which it explains. Hmm? Carbon represents almost from 4th to the 14th columns of the periodic table.
I've
So
shared this.
carbon is in the lithium line, but it also has to do with energy. The main feeling is of a toddler. Do I have the energy to face life, to do things? And based on what sort of other symptoms are there, you will decide which of the carbons you will do. That is a little big question and not easy to answer. But you first come to a carbon. And that is a difficult question also, because once you think of carbon, then you open Roger Morrison's book, and there are 1,000 carbons. Oh my God, which one to give? And if you think I know, let me tell you, I'm completely ignorant. But yet we are able to help. If you know some basic carbon remedies, not all of those aliphatic and this one and alcoholic type of all of that various carbons, you don't. We'll only complicate ourselves with, if you start seeing how much you don't know, it can be very scary.
This is the foundation book. I've posted the photo. Okay. So you can ask for these books at this email ID, Dr. Gandhi's clinic @gmail.com. We have 3 groups here. This is the first one, the foundation
The
book.
other books are, I'll tell you also the other books who are interested now that we have talked is, another book is on panic disorder, panic and anxiety disorder. So it is a very specific symptom because that is the commonest thing that comes, panic. So we have a lot of panic disorder theme. All our patients come with anxiety disorder. So that book is only focused on when you have anxiety as a symptom, how do we go about? Then the third book is desktop psychiatry for homeopaths. So that book is the whole psychiatry is seen from the homeopathic perspective. So you don't have to read a book which is written by a psychiatrist to know about psychiatry. Even many of the illnesses are classified based on homeopathic principles, which are very different from psychiatry. So, and it's a desktop. Desktop meaning sometimes you have a case of, let's say, depersonalization. You don't know what to give. So if you open, then there are sort of lot of things given. These sort of remedies can come and it can give you a lot of hint. So that is why it's called desktop psychiatry. Psychiatry for homeopaths. A whole book covering everything about psychiatry. And then finally is this chakra book.
How this thing is derived, like substitute a plant to a mollusk like.
Hemomelic.
And we have animal and mineral substitute. Example, CPI is called as animal sulfur.
Yes. So all that can be understood. The method is, you have a lot, with this method, there's a lot of clarity. When we discuss cases, though, we discuss every line, every word, because everything comes to light. So putting light on, it's a no more a blind procedure. So you know what you are doing. So otherwise, sometimes you may leave a remedy which might be right. Sometimes it happens, patient says, I've taken this remedy, but I continue to give that. Sometimes only change the potency because I don't think that it is a wrong remedy, but you gave up because you're not very sure of yourself. So there's a lot of confidence, a lot of clarity when you follow this particular method.
There's a question, what does the emblem of PEM represents?
Emblem.
Yeah, the truth prevails. That is what you
Truth
said.
prevails is what we are doing is we believe that, see, finally it's a science. Freud did a lot of work, in his lifetime. Finally, everything was broken down and newer ideas came up. People like Carl Jung and many other people came up with their own ideas. Science has to grow, like this emblem, it has to grow. So you see, it's a structure. It has the whole structure is of mineral because it looks like a sandstone, but it is like a tree and there's a man. So we are covering all the 3 kingdoms in that particular chart, and it has to grow. And truth prevails means if it has to stand the test of time. No, Hahnemann came up with this. The homeopathy is only grown over a period of time. So finally, nothing which is truth can ever be put down. So it's also for homeopathy. Very often we talk about homeopathy being challenged in West. I don't have so much of fear. I have more faith. And faith that homeopathy will survive everything, because that which is truth cannot be hidden. So it is not only in context of our system, it's also in context of homeopathy. And same with my method. With humility, I say, tomorrow if you grow, all of you are young and grow up, and one day I will challenge all my points. But come up using, sometimes telling this is not truth is also telling you about some truth. And come up with a new idea, a new concept, which brings even more clarity. It is good. Okay. So science has to continue grow. When I was young, like y'all, I didn't know all this. Today I know this, but y'all are beginning with this. And always things grow. We have to, you cannot make a rocket from a bullock cart. There are so many stages of development. No? So we are all standing on each other's shoulders. So the whole sensation method, you cannot discount. We don't discount. We still use all those methods and everything that was there, plus something. So each teacher is only standing on somebody else's shoulder and taking it to the next level. And I hope and pray that all of you take it to another level someday. This is my really heartfelt wish for homeopathy. Our homeopathy is much bigger than each one of us.
There's one more question. How is superclass and subclass course of Dr. Shankaran different from PM?
Okay, so I'll tell you what is the difference. Super class, I should not speak because I don't know much about it, first and foremost. But super class is based on the level of sensation. So what is your deepest level of analysis? So super class is trying to bring everything at a sensation level, the plant, animal, mineral. So at the level of sensation, which are the remedies which are similar? This is as I understand. Whereas we are seeing at the inner level, inner age level. So super class is telling sensation, but many sensations cannot, you don't understand why it is. For me to be a human being and who says, scattered and together is my sensation. For me, being a human being, only being scattered or together or tight or loose or in or out is not enough for me. I need to understand. You take away the spiritual dimension, you take away so many things. If we believe we are born again and again, and that we are at different level of evolution, when you understand your inner age, which comes as a packet with your inner program, then it also explains sensation. As I gave you example of Ignatia. Let's say chocolate, attach, detach. It becomes dry, no? It has no emotion, no humanness in that. Attach, detach is very neutral and dry. But if you put the human aspect that you are attached to mother and now you're learning to detach from mother, suddenly it becomes alive. Piper AC. Piper AC is just coming into life. So what you see in Piper AC is, it's like going to Las Vegas. You don't want to miss anything. I want this also. I want to this also. I want to try that. I want to eat here. I want to see this place. I want to see this show. That excitement, joy of excitement. So if I know the inner age is of that of an infant who is just born like fluoric acid, who wants to enjoy everything, suddenly that sensation becomes alive. Excitement, if I just say, oh, piperacy has excitement, but it is no direction. Why excitement? So something that explains sensation, in my opinion, is a little deeper. So for me, inner age explains sensations, but sensation will not explain inner age. And inner age does not deny sensation. None of the things which are there in the plant sensation is denied by inner age. But it is a tool to explain all those sensations at an even higher level. If we believe that we are just born here and going to die one day, this is not an idea. We have come here to learn, grow, develop, evolve. There is a meaning to our life. We are not just born. And to remove that from our process of understanding of the patient, I think is not right. You have to see a human who's also, you are not just humans, we are souls. We have come here to born, to learn, to grow, to evolve, to develop. And based on that, we come through different life situations. And I don't think those life situations are accidental. They are designed. Every difficulty you go through is something to teach you something, to grow, to become better, to become more and more spiritual. And if you understand your inner age, you know what are you struggling. It is like a school, no? In school, there are so many classes. Who's not studying? Everybody is studying. You say first standard class is not studying. Does he study less than 8th standard? No. He's studying at that level of. So first standard boy needs to learn that much. 6th standard level boy has to study something. SSC boy has to study something. But they are all in the same school. And how you know who's studying in which class? By asking what is your syllabus. So this world is like a school. We all have our syllabus. I'm asking you your syllabus when I'm taking the case. And I come to know which school you are, class you are. And then I know which remedies will address that particular level of development. Okay, so it is more. So it is more human. We don't say as you go deeper, deeper, no. Sometimes we leave the human part. What is important is that you have to accept and incorporate every part. The truth should be explained at the emotional level, human level, spiritual level, mental level, physical level. No level should be left. I believe this method is all inclusive. We don't exclude anything? Do we exclude Yakir? No. Jan Schulten? No. Shankaran? No. Nobody is excluded. Everything is part of it. So it's only question of superclass and subclass, as you want to say. So sub is not less than super. It is just what level you are analyzing your case. And gives, which makes, analysis makes your life more meaningful. Endeavor is similar. Done.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you so much. And from my deepest heart, I pray for the well-being of all of you all and wish the best and great success in your homeopathic journey. And may you all keep learning, growing, evolving. And my best wishes and my gratitude to our master Hanuman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Dr. Meeta.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pita. Bye-bye.